Play ratings then. Going to get through these as quickly as possible because I don't want to think about Everton for the rest of the day and I want to go to the gym. So, Jordan Pickford in goal. Obviously, Tottenham 5, Everton 0. You know the score. Just done the instant match reaction. Another disgraceful defeat. 17-hour day. For what? Effectively, to watch us turn up and within 15 minutes the game be over. I actually said to one of the lads on the coach, ironically getting off the coach before the game, I said, I'll see you in about 20 minutes, mate. And he laughed and he said, yeah, see you in a minute, mate. 15 minutes in, the game was over. What? A 7-hour coach journey for 5 minutes of decent playing effort. 15 minutes in, that was it. Disgrace. Jordan Pickford. John's getting a 5. No, he's getting a 6. I do think he should have done better for Son's goal. I don't think that is escapable. I think it was, again, far too easy for Son to get that under him. He did make 2 or 3 really, really big saves throughout the game, which ultimately kept us in the game. I say kept us in the game. It stopped it from being about 8-0. Never mind, I wouldn't say kept us in the game. But yeah, maybe he should have done better for a couple of the goals. Certainly should have done better for Son's goal. It wasn't his best performance. I love Jordan, and he very rarely makes mistakes. But when he does make mistakes, it would be unfair for us to sit here and ignore them because we don't ignore them when other players make them. And yeah, as I said, he made a couple of big saves, which ultimately kept us in not in the game, but kept them from scoring more than they did ultimately. So Jordan can get a 6. Left back John Joe Kenny. John Joe can get a 4. I think the effort was there. I think the desire was there. He might be the most right-footed footballer I've ever seen. He's out of position. He's not a particularly great right back. He works hard, John Joe. He gives effort. He shows that desire. He shows that commitment. He's, the type of player that you look at and you think, you want to play for this club. You want to work hard. You want to give everything. But he's a very limited footballer in terms of his ability. But he done all right. Positional-wise, he was poor. As I said, you can't have a left-back who's that right-footed because he's just so easy to telegraph. He's so easy to read. He's so easy to know what he's going to do next. And it just doesn't work. But, yeah, he wasn't the worst in the back line, I suppose. Michael Keane is getting a 1. Just a disgraceful first half of football. Went off at half-time. The manager said that he wasn't feeling very well and hasn't been for a while. I think that is maybe in reference to a non-physical problem, which is worrying for Michael Keane because I just don't think Michael Keane should be playing for Everton for his sake and for our sake, to be honest with you, at the moment. But he was abysmal, absolutely abysmal. The first goal again, sticking his foot out when he's not in control of it, not understanding that there's a chance it could get it, go into the back of the net. And then for the opening 45 minutes, he was absolutely put on toast by Harry Kane, who is a very, very good striker. A very, very good striker, and we know, Michael Keane is a very limited centre-half, but, I do put partial blame on Frank Lampard for playing such a high line and for trying to play a offside trap with a back four who are not very good at football, effectively. But Michael Keane was abysmal. Absolutely bad. I don't want to sit here and go in on every mistake he made, but he was absolutely dreadful. So he's getting a 1. Mason Allgate next to him is getting a 2. Not much better. Again, formed part of a defensive partnership that were just absolutely a bit. I remember sitting there on I think it was Son's goal and it was Kane's first goal, and I think I sat there and said they've got to be offside. They're surely offside. And then you watch them on the replay, and the defence just gives these 2 players who are genuinely very, very good footballers, 2 of the best attacking footballers in the league. Our back line just give them 53 miles of space to run into. And when these types of players go one-on-one with goalkeepers, they're going to score. They're absolutely going to score. And the amount of times Mason Allgate and Michael Keane did it is beyond me. So Mason can get a 2. I think he was marginally better than Michael Keane, but not much better. Seamus Coleman at right back's getting a 1. Listen, you can have all your sentiment. You can have all your, he's played for us for ages, he loves the club, this, that and the other. He's not very good at footy. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. He's not very good at footy. Defensively, he's abysmal. He's a 30-odd-year-old right-back who's played in the Premier League for over 10 years and he still can't stop a cross coming into the box. Whether it's his fault he's playing or not, we've signed the right-back there. I'd have Nathan Patterson in. I don't give a shit how inexperienced he is, how unready he is, how he's not up for the challenge. I'd have Nathan Patterson in there every single day of the week over Seamus Coleman. Every day of the week. And twice on a Wednesday. Twice on a Monday. He's not very good. He can have been here as long. He can be a club legend. He can love the club. I love the club. I love the club with all my heart. I travelled fucking 17 hours yesterday around Sip to go and watch them bastards. I love this club more than anything. But I'm not good enough to play right back. And neither Seamus Coleman. So, he's getting a 1. He was abysmal. Into the midfield then. Van der Beek. He can get a 4. I think he ran round. I think there was effort. I think there was commitment. But he had no control of the game. I partially blame the tactics for that. I think when he was on the ball, he was trying to do it, trying to move it, trying to make something happen, but he wasn't in the game, was he? Let's be honest, he wasn't in the game. He wasn't particularly good. It was very quiet from him. In fact, the 4's probably being kind to him. He was very, very quiet. And yeah, he just wasn't particularly great. Abdoulaye Doucouré next to him, he's getting a 3. I expect better from Abdoulaye Doucouré. I know he's played a lot of football recently, only just coming back from injury, but I just don't think he was as sharp as he usually is. I think he could have moved the ball forward a lot quicker. I think he could have moved the ball forward with a lot more intensity. And he didn't. And again, as I said, I partly put that down to the fact that Tottenham, once went 2-0 up, were just in control, were just comfortable, but our midfield was absolutely everywhere. Our midfield was everywhere. And then Alan's getting a 2. Don't think he was very good either. Battled and worked hard and threw his foot in and tried to make things happen and put himself about a little bit, but the reality of the situation is wasn't quick enough yesterday to deal with Tottenham, wasn't sharp enough to deal with Tottenham, wasn't good enough, was he, yesterday? And I like Alan, I think he's a good player, but on days like yesterday, his lack of pace and his lack of energy really, really gets shown up. And I think that's what happened yesterday. And then the forward line, Anthony Gordon, I'm going to give Anthony Gordon a 7. I think he worked tirelessly. I think Frank Lampard actually said he was one of the only players who worked really, really hard, which is telling, isn't it, really? When your manager's coming out and saying a 20-odd-year-old kid is one of the only players that really worked hard for the entirety of the game. That just shows the absolute shithousery of the rest of that squad. 90% of them should never put an Everton shirt on again. They're fucking a joke. But yeah, Anthony Gordon couldn't quite make things happen, but he was picking the ball up. He was still, he didn't let his head drop. He fought for every ball. He battled for every ball. He wanted it. He moved it well when he needed to. He worked hard. And yeah, I feel sorry for Anthony Gordon, really, because if we had 11 Anthony Gordons, we wouldn't have lost 5-0 yesterday. Richarlison, he can get a 6. I think similarly, he was working hard, was trying to make things happen, threw himself on the floor a couple of times unnecessarily. Again, wasn't massively in the game, didn't have his greatest game. But you can never really fault his work rate. He was always there, he was always trying to work, he was always trying to battle, he was always trying to move the ball. And yeah, thought he done okay. Let's be honest, the forward line weren't in the game. The game was over in the first 10 minutes and we got beat 5-0. The forward line weren't in the game. He barely touched the ball. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Dom's getting a 2. Listen, there's a lot of stuff going on around Dom at the moment. Will he stay? Won't he stay? Does he want to be here? Doesn't he want to be here? I just don't particularly think Frank Lampard's style, or the style that Frank Lampard wants to implement and wants to play, I don't think it suits Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I really, really don't. It's clear Frank Lampard doesn't really want to play the get the ball to the wide areas and cross it in. Every time we're in wide areas, we try and play it around the box. We try and play it inwards. There's never crosses into the box other than set pieces. So I just don't think Dominic Calvert-Lewin suits this style. Again, yesterday, he may as well have been stood next to us. Didn't really get involved in the game. I thought his work rate was poor yesterday. Usually I credit Dominic Calvert-Lewin and say he works hard, he battles, he always wants it, he always, is giving everything. Yesterday I don't think that was the case. I think he was poor work rate rise, which was worrying. But he wasn't in the game. He must have had less than 10 touches of the ball, and most of them were aimless jumps towards headers that he was never going to get, or never going to be able to control, rather. So, yeah, there you go. Onto the bench then. Mikalenko, give him a 6. Come on, worked hard, put himself about. Didn't do anything wrong particularly. Jared Branthwaite, again, he was an improvement on Michael Keane, which just tells you the type of footballer that Michael Keane is and the type of player that Michael Keane is at the moment. He can get a 5, I suppose. Made a couple of mistakes. Again, had a bit of a torrid time against two of the very, very good forwards, but he's a 18, 19-year-old kid, so that's to be expected. It's not to be expected from a 28-year-old centre-back who's played in the league for 6 years, played at us for 6 years, played in the league for however long. And then, who else come on? Dele Alli. Dele can get a 5. In fact, Dele can get a 6 because I think there's a bit of commitment there. There was a couple of good tackles in there, hard 50-50s that, maybe people wouldn't have thought he'd have put in before the game because, again, it's against Tottenham and his former teammates. But threw a couple of tackles in. He's not particularly quick, we know that. Listen, I'm not writing Dele Alli off by any sense of the imagination, and I'm not sitting here saying he's a useless signing or he's a waste or whatever, because he could still be a very good player for Everton. But I do sort of look at him and go, did we really need Dele Alli in January? Or did we need a centre-half? Or did we need 2 centre-halves? Or did we need a left-back that was going to be able to play every week? Or a right-back that was ready to start Premier League games now? I think we needed all of those areas covered. Certainly centre-half, more than we needed Dele Alli. And that's not me having a go at him. That's not me blaming him. That's not me saying he won't be a success or he won't be a good footballer in the future. That's just me saying, I almost look at the Dele Alli signing, same with the El Ghazi signing, and think, were they a necessity? And I don't think they were. But regardless, he come on and he worked hard and he done all right. And then Frank Lampard, Frank's getting a 2 today. I think last night, tactically, he got it wrong. I think he didn't change it. He persisted with it, even when we were getting absolutely embarrassed on the counter. He still persisted with it. And yeah, he got it wrong. He got it wrong, Frank. It's as simple as that. He got it wrong. But yeah, there you go. That is the player ratings. If you haven't checked out the instant match reaction, please do so. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you want to leave it a like, I would be greatly appreciated. Again, I apologise these videos were done the next day, but I got home at 4:20 in the morning and I wasn't doing videos then. I'm sorry, but I wasn't. Big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you after.